And Nikki is up there.
Hello, everybody.
And Grace.
Welcome to our November meeting.
Pop it up. Hello. Welcome to our meeting, our November meeting.
Welcome, everybody.
I thought you were going to talk. Phil.
Good talk.
All right. We're going to open up in a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you and praise you for today. We thank you for an amazing month of October, for really just a renewing of things for us. And so we just thank you and praise you. We ask that today that you open our minds to learn new things, that you give us insight and wisdom and revelation in all things. Be with whoever's on their way here and with everybody that's watching online today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So introductions. My name is Phil Mango. I'm a Ruby ambassador with Plexus on my way to senior Ruby. And you are?
Jen Mango, and I'm an Emerald ambassador with Plexus. And we've been doing this business since July of 2013. For us, we're doing this mostly for people online, but also for you, Ms. Kathy. Welcome as our guest. We started this business as a way to get healthy.
That's right.
We thought we were only going to just do it just enough to get our product paid for, or else we were going to have to quit, because Phil told me either I made enough money to pay for our product or we quit. And now things are totally different because
15 months later, we've lost weight, plantar fasciitis is gone, and we make around 20 times more than you were making your first month. So we're all about Plexus.
And so our kids, and probably our dog. If we thought of a way to give our dogs some Plexus, we probably would, right? We've heard people have been giving their animals Plexus. But anyway, we are sold out on Plexus. We love Plexus. We know that those of you watching that are ambassadors, some of you are newer, but you're already sold out on Plexus. And so it's exciting. We're going to talk a little bit about announcements. You're not leaving. You're supposed to be up here for the announcements. So in October for our team, Team Mango, we added 50 ambassadors, which was awesome. And we sold a little over $114,000 in PV. So that's a lot of lives. That is just a lot of people and a lot of lives that we've been able to impact. And so that's super exciting. We just got back, y'all know, from where? We got back from Maui and Florida, but Florida was our last trip. Abby was in Florida with us. We had Becky Gibson was in Florida with us. Erica, who's supposed to be here, she's always late. Erica, hurry up and get here. Who else was? Sherilyn. Miss Sherilyn was with us and her husband, and Elizabeth Brown, who's in Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, and they were all there. And what was one word you could sum up Leaders Retreat? Over the top. Over the top. Bill, what do you think? That's okay. One phrase that works.
Yeah, first class. All the way.
First class. And I would just say, I would use the word stellar. Like, I just think that everything that this company does, and you guys, we've seen it, because raise your hand in this room if you want an iPad this month. We've got 3 iPads, 1 in this room. I mean, just the things that our company does to really take care of us. Not take care of the dollar, not take care of the company just as a whole, which they do, but really take care of us all individually. And we really saw that at Leaders Retreat. Some of the things that we saw at Leaders Retreat, I want to make sure that everybody is aware that the vitamins were reformulated, and those obviously went on sale. The family chewables, the X Factor family chewables. Well, in the original recipe or ingredients list, there was red dye and the yellow dye and saccharin, sucralose. So all of that was changed.
And it didn't taste good.
Right, it didn't. It was very bittery,
tough.
toughy.
My child is giving it to her friends when they come over. Like, these vitamins are so good, you need to try this.
Awesome. We haven't bought the new ones, but that's great to know.
She loves them.
That's awesome.
Sugar.
Real sugar. I mean, you just stick with the real stuff.
No,
no,
just sugar.
Real sugar. Something else that happened at Leaders Retreat. What else was released at Leaders Retreat?
The location of.
He's not playing the game very well.
No, here, I'll stand up with you, because I don't know what you're talking about.
His mind is blocked.
His mind is blocked.
Very good, Patrick.
My mind is blocked.
So I'm going to pass this around because these are available. this is available now online if you want to get this little pamphlet, and it's kind of helpful when we have a new product and you aren't really sure kind of what to say about it, other than it blocks excess carbs and sugars. We know that. That's what we've been told and taught. This is the block. Who's tried block in the room?
Yeah.
Who loves block?
Yeah.
Not on it long enough to know yet.
Okay.
Okay. And here's what I'll say
How
is
long does
that
it take?
so Abigail
Different
tested it. We tested it for 3 weeks prior to the release, almost 4. And I would say the first week, I wasn't a fan. I was like falling asleep in the afternoon. It just didn't work, but you have to power through and get through that, because now I'll take 1 at breakfast, 1 at lunch, and I'll even take 1 at dinner. So 30 minutes before. I mean, my appetite, it's kind of like the old accelerator. My appetite is gone.
So what about an hour? I thought you said an hour.
30 minutes to an hour. 30, depending on, you've got it. And again, this is the hard thing with our products, but also the good caveat is that it's such an individualized thing that you have to kind of figure out for you what works. I'm still powering through some of the sleepiness. He's not having that. A lot of people are not dealing with the sleepiness thing at all. So, and it's just tricky trying to figure out, okay, is it worth it? The other thing to think about, like for having, like your diet, if your diet is made up of a lot of carbs and sugar, this is probably going to be more effective for you than if you eat a strong protein diet, because it's not going to be as effective because you're not working to address that. But it does regulate glucose levels. And so look at that pamphlet that's kind of floating around. That'll give you some good information.
Well, and start slow, because a lot of us were like, okay, it says do 4 a day. So we started out 4 a day, and then we were bloated. And
Right.
if you do
Had
have
trouble.
that, increase your biocleanse.
Right.
And
probiotics.
but
I've been doing that.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
you know, so I had that experience, so I
Right.
stopped. I was also traveling a lot, so I actually started back yesterday with 1 before each meal instead of just
Interesting.
one.
Yep.
Right. And that's our
I'm
thing.
having that with just 1.
Yeah, so start off slow, one and see kind of how it goes for you.
Cool.
There's the Martins.
Another thing from Leaders Retreat was the change in the comp plan. And so some of you might not realize this yet, how important it is. But as you climb the ladder and as you get more and more points, it's vitally important. And the change of the comp plan is at the end of the month, the points freeze, they're booked, they're done. There's no longer anything called compression. And if your customers and or ambassadors return product after the 31st, their points are not changing. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that you're an Emerald ambassador and you have a little over 1,500 points at the end of the month. You're eligible for the Emerald pool, which pays a few $1,000s. If prior to the 15th, people return product, your points could drop from 1,525 down to 1,499. And now because people returned after the end of the month, you don't realize it, you lost out on bonus pools. So that change is huge. For ranks, people who ranked 100, they could have dropped down to 96 in the old comp plan. Now the company's taken that away. So essentially, whatever you finish with, it's booked in stone. It's fantastic.
Well, and it just, again, is that they're on your side versus the company side of cutting, you know, if they're going to take money out of their own pocket to keep you happy, that's what they're doing. And that really, again, says a lot, because in corporate America, we know that does not happen.
Right. If I had, in my corporate job, if I had a customer back out of a contract, I have what's called a clawback, where they can come back and get my commission and take it back from me. Plexus doesn't do that. It's fantastic.
Okay. That's it on Leaders. Anything else on Leaders Retreat?
Convention.
No.
Convention. You started to say that.
Convention is going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, which we're excited about. In June, it's the last day of school here in Frisco, June 4th through the 7th. So, yeah. So
I'll talk to him about this.
So I know Jen will probably go, and then I'll catch up with her on the weekend. So,
But you know, you guys, who a lot of you in this room were there. You know how important it is to be there. You know what a propeller it can be for your business. And you certainly don't want to be the one that was like, well, I didn't plan. We know about it now. There will be a contest that will start to earn points towards convention, towards reimbursement and all of that in the first week. It will be released at Super Saturday, which is our next date to talk about, which will be January 10th. So
With Southwest
Yeah, I was
direct
gonna say.
flights these days, they're offering great deals. And if
Right
you-
now.
If you can get your tickets now, you're
Yeah.
not gonna pay anything. I mean, and you
Right.
still can get, earn your reimbursement.
Right, but you go ahead and get your tickets. And book a hotel as soon as we know. In the next week or so, we should be getting kind of more
How long
details
is
about all that.
it? Is it like 3 or 4 days?
For June 4th through the 7th. So that is I think a Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday through
Thursday
Sunday.
through Sunday. And the bulk of the conference usually it starts
Fridays,
Thursday night,
yeah.
Friday all day, Saturday all day, and then done Sunday. I mean, nothing on Sunday usually.
Yeah.
So plan to be there.
Let's go.
Y'all asked, well, Diane asked about Super Saturday. We will get a group, they will have dates and a group of cities that all of that will be listed. A group of cities that will all be listed with locations. It is all on Saturday, the 10th, and then everybody's dispersed, and the company and Diamonds, Sapphires will go to different cities. Like last year was in Fort Worth. So I'm sure we'll have something in Dallas or Fort Worth, right? Most should be within driving distance for people. And it's like an 8 to 12 or a 9 to 12 kind of a deal.
One day event. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Our next big announcement. We are taking our team meetings on the road. So really, that's for the people in the studio audience.
Behind door number one.
behind. We want to go out and visit some places where people are really growing and encourage the people in this room who are leaders that are building teams to start doing a training as well with your team. And that'll start probably as we move into the new year. But we can already tell you that our first meeting, drum roll, is going to be in Springfield, Missouri in January.
They're probably panicking because they're like, Elizabeth is probably going, what? Jen didn't talk to me about this, though. We will talk.
We will talk. It's going to be probably the first week or so in January. We'll be in Springfield, Missouri. And then we want to do a meeting in February and in March somewhere else.
And
So if you've
we'll
got,
tape it so everybody
it'll
can.
be just like this. We'll be
participate.
broadcasting, do a meeting back to Dallas via the worldwide internet.
And we talked
I
about this
chose
a couple of months ago. I know.
Help me out in the back, man. I need some laughs.
He's like, I'm
Something.
sleeping.
Yeah.
So,
Good. Here.
Yeah.
You're here. Thank you for being here.
So anyhow, if you've got teammates, and we're going to put a poll out tomorrow saying where do you want us to come, and we want to hear from you all, from your teammates that are spread throughout, where we can go and have a meeting. So we'll
But
do.
like Mander and I've come and met with Mander and Hannah. We've done things at their office. We've met at restaurants. If you want to do something, it doesn't have to be in your home. It doesn't have to be on the weekend. But if you want one of us or both of us to come, we've come to Tammy's house. We still want to do all that. So
Yeah.
You're not off the hook just because we're going to be in a different city in January. And we are going to do something fun as a team for December. We'll get that out soon, but we don't have that date.
Okay,
today.
Sonia Dudley.
Okay, a lot of you responded that you were interested in the October 22nd or November 22nd Sonia Dudley training in Ardmore, Oklahoma. So if you're still interested, I know Abby and I are still planning on going. I'm thinking that we will caravan from somewhere close to here, like intersection wise, where we can meet and leave cars at like 7 a.m. on the 22nd of November. So I will be putting out a post. Maybe. We can look at that. We can look at that. Depending on the response and the for sure confirmations. Yeah, we can talk about who wants to go. It's a little bit over 2 hours away, and it's a 10. It looks like it's 10 to 1.
It's morning training
And then afternoon train. Yeah, event as well. So it's Saturday, November
When Lori
22nd.
and Jetty are posting Sonia doing it.
Right. So it'd be a wealth of information. It would be a wise thing to go to, for sure. Yeah.
It's about 30 minutes north of
It's exit 33.
Gainesville, yeah.
So it's 33 miles.
Yeah.
not far.
Yeah.
Okay, before we announce something else, contest updates. So we've got Phil's check for December, and we want to get 400 ambassadors by December the 15th. Right now we've got 90.
Exactly.
Right now we've got 90. So that means we need 310 in the next 45 days.
Can y'all go do that, please?
So we're You better get busy.
You have no
But
time
I'm
to
going to
be
make
busy.
it. I'm trying to give this away. I want to give this away. So I want to
We
give
want to
you
give the
a
check
little
away.
bit more of a, not so much of a stretch, but a stretch goal, a little bit more attainable. So if we can get 130 ambassadors in the next 45 days, so quick math, that's 3 a day, which is what we averaged for the last essentially week of the month. So we're on a great roll. 3 a day, that's 130 between now and December the 14th. The contest is on. My check is getting bigger and bigger, y'all.
Maybe we'll post what your check is on the group page on the 15th so they can see what they're working for.
And again, the way that works, the top enroller, the person with the most level 1 ambassadors, will get 1/3 of it. We'll have a drawing for everyone that signed on, any ambassadors for the second, third half quarter. And then the last third, we are going to pay forward to charity. We're thinking about Frisco Family Services here, but we'll talk about a good worthwhile charity that does good work and give it to them.
Jen, like, if you got that goal, would you be in or something?
No. She's on her way.
I'm
She's on her way.
I'm wherever I am, but I won't be there yet.
Speaking, by the way, great segue,
Thank you.
because we have some other promotions this
We
month.
did have a couple of promotions this month. We are super excited. Y'all know in this room how much work it takes, especially at the beginning of every single thing that you touch and you do to grow your team. It's really hard. So gold is kind of like a big deal because it's like silver is a big deal, but silver, we can get there sometimes faster than not. But gold is really where you're really like setting out to kind of carve your little space in your plexus world. And so we had 2 people on our team turn gold.
Never mind, you
How to
do
do
it.
this. Gracious. So the first person that was able to rank gold was Elizabeth Brown. Very excited for you. In Missouri, and her team, her team is like soaring and they're just growing. I think one girl under her is probably going to be gold by the end of this month, and they just are having incredible growth, and so we're super excited for them. So congratulations! You have a little surprise that will be sent to you tomorrow, and then our second gold is for Melissa Martin. And gosh, Melissa, what's one tip as a new gold ambassador that you would like to give the team? Put you on the spot.
You cannot get to gold by yourself. You really have to have a partner, an excited team member.
Mm-hmm.
And your excited team member may take a long time before you find them. You may be the most unusual person that it'll happen. If you keep doing it, it'll happen. And when it happens, it is just post Jesus.
It really is, and I hope that you can enjoy it. I know Phil gets on to me because, and I really have learned that lesson this summer with Emeralds because I was like, okay, well now I'm going to the next. And really reveling in the accomplishment of where you're at and enjoying the journey. And I know that I've spoken to many of you in this room about how that is probably one of the most exciting, but also one of the hardest things about this business is comparing, because comparison is the thief of our joy, or looking around you at circumstance and thinking, well, gosh, I thought I was going to be here, or I could have been here. But really, you know what? God knows what He knows, and we know what we know. And we are just, if we submit ourselves to the process and appreciate where we are for what we are and what we have, that silver income is more than before you started Plexus. For most of us, we're like, if we could just get our product paid for, I would be excited. And then your check can grow. And as it gets to be well, gosh, I had a conversation with someone in this room. I made several $100s and I don't feel like I did anything. Imagine if I did do something. So we all along the way have so much to be thankful for. And we're just super proud of you and excited for your team and what's to come. And we're super proud of all of you in this room and know that that's achievable for each and every one of you at the right time.
And I'm a numbers guy. I like statistics. I like numbers. Let me give you some numbers to chew on. If you're a silver ambassador, you're in the top 10% of the company. based on the number of silvers and overall ambassadors. If you're a silver, you're in the top 10%. If you're in a gold ambassador or above, gold to ruby, you're in the top 1% of the company. And if you are a jewel, you're in the top I did the math, 0.03% of the company. So don't let that discourage you like, I'll never get there, but just enjoy that. Hey, if I've gotten to silver, it's not just 3 ambassadors. You're in the top 10%. Other people are not where you're at. So revel in that, enjoy that, and just know that we're proud of you for that accomplishment. It's huge. So congrats again.
Awesome. Okay, we are going to do a little bit of a product overview because we feel like we don't do a very good job of that for y'all ever. And so we're probably not going to do a perfect job. That's the great thing about this business too, is that as you grow a team, like you have people on your team that are just super awesome at things that you're not awesome at. And so then what happens is you start to rely on their awesomeness and you go, okay, I haven't done this, I need to do this. So we're going to talk about products, but I am going to kind of lean on y'all a little bit this afternoon for the people online. I'm going to say a product, and then I want you guys to kind of give me some feedback about what you love about it. So we're not going to start with our easy one. Let's start with Fast Relief Cream, which is not out there right now.
Good, good. We're doing great so far.
What, Mom?
Yes.
You live on it. You use it for your back. Awesome. What else is something else people use it for?
I had dental work done this week, and my jaw, as the Novocaine was wearing off, my jaw hurt so bad, and I had that bottle right next to me. And every 30 minutes to an hour, I was putting on it. It helped so much.
So much. So for any kind of like traumatic pain or like chronic pain or acute
Sore
pain,
muscles.
sore muscles.
Tired feet.
Oh, tired feet. That's a good one. Tummy aches. We use it in the house for tummy.
Bee sting, you remember that? I posted that picture.
Yes, yeah, for a bee sting. So again, lots of different uses. We didn't think we had a need for it when we bought it a year ago. We started using it, and it's something that the kids use. Riley uses it after a hockey game. He was telling his friends about it. We use it for everything all the time. I use it for tension headaches. Love that I can just put it right here and then it's gone. I don't have to worry about it. Okay, awesome. Let's talk about the chewables. You touched on the chewables. Grace loves the new flavor, but a great way to get vitamins in our kiddos. We want to make sure that we're giving them what we are giving them. The difference in our chewable versus, it is called an X Factor chewable. The difference in that versus our X Factor that we can all take is that it does not have the aloe in it. So that's an important little caveat to know when you're talking to your customers.
But it does have the blackcurrant extract, which makes that most powerful antioxidant. So if people are comparing why our vitamins over Flintstone's vitamins, well, we have an antioxidant that other vitamins do not.
Very good point. Yes, blackcurrant antioxidant in our kids' chewables. Awesome.
No dye.
With no dye. Okay, let's talk about the 96. We have our 96 protein shakes. So it's so funny because my mom has always been like, oh, I can't stand smoothies or shakes, protein shakes. I'm not going to do that. And I said, well, you should just try one. But don't mix it, put it with ice and milk and do it in the blender and mix it up. And she loves it now. So we have the vanilla and the chocolate. I know that our girls love the chocolate. Phil and I will get on spurts where we have that in the middle of the day. Instead of a meal, we'll power it with, I put all kinds of stuff in it.
Yeah,
You wouldn't normally eat.
Do you have to have the 96 on its own?
What do you mean?
Do you have to just have 96 mixed with water or milk?
No.
See, now she's not working with me. Okay. Yes, you can. Thank you.
That's right. With anything.
Should we talk about block now? Since you're
Blocking. Sure. Talk about block.
Block. What's it meant to do? What's it reduce? 40%?
48%.
48% of all
Yes.
what? Sugars and carbs.
So if somebody says to you, well, wasn't there that product in the grocery store that you could buy that blocked things, but that was blocking fats?
Mm-hmm.
That other product out there that caused all kinds of other side effects that.
Leaky butt.
Exactly. That's all it did.
So it really is at the enzyme level. If you read through that pamphlet and some of the research that has been that's been kind of passed along through Facebook, if you look and it's really blocking those digestive enzymes from being able to break that down and for your body to absorb. So it really is working. And you guys have seen there's a number of people that we were with in Maui that are in a very short amount of time from using that. Now, again, like all things, it is not magic. It is a tool that you use to make better choices, to eat less, and to make
Yeah, so the
healthier-
goal is it
healthier
helps
lifestyle.
you, right, you lose some of the pounds so you can maybe do things you weren't doing before, like jogging or exercising, and then it becomes a supplementation.
right.
Yeah, I've read a few people that were choosing to eat more carbs and unhealthier foods because of this.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, if you know, I mean, so again, I've had that question, is this the kind of thing you should take always? Okay, so no, you get to your goal weight. If you know you're going to have a carb-laden meal, then
Yeah.
eat that. But we still need to be encouraging people to make healthy food choices because it's not going to work as well.
No.
And it may make you sick if
Right.
you choose to power through and eat 4 pieces of cake because you have
Because you had block. Exactly.
I've
Exactly.
taken it with Pita before dinner, and I don't normally eat a lot of carbs except maybe a little bit of fruit. But well, I gotta see if this really works. So I found the ice cream.
So yes, and do you really, like we talked about, start it slow. You can take up to 4. It is a great product if somebody doesn't have a lot of money or wants to be introduced to Plexus and they want something specifically to address their eating habits. This is a great place to start on a standalone product.
That's what, like, a lot of my people are trying to do.
Sure.
Yes.
I'll say too, I'm not good about remembering to eat things like before I eat. I'm one of those that think, oh, I'm hungry.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I've been taking honestly like one with each meal.
Mhm.
I take just 3 meals a day.
Mhm.
With like at the same time, it's been very effective.
Oh, very
Good.
good.
Great to know. So taking with your meal and still seeing great results, like one with like each meal. Awesome.
So what? One more product. What would be the difference between Boost and Accelerator Plus? Because I get confused by that. Boost and Accelerator Plus.
The
Go ahead.
Boost is thermogenic, correct?
What does that mean? What's thermogenic?
It means burns with heat. You should
So
know
I'm
what that is.
thermogenic for you, baby.
Okay, yes, thermogenic. So we typically, an Accelerator Plus is like turning on a metabolism, right? Thinking about somebody that has probably maybe dealt with weight or even, I don't know. I think the majority of people starting on Accelerator Plus is a good choice for them if they have conditions or they can't exercise. They just need lots of help in terms of getting a whole package started for them to really get them going. Boost is great for those athletes. I know that people that run and Melissa, the Martins, they're runners. They do Boost.
Because Accelerator Plus
Yes, that helps with
I take the Accelerator Plus 1 week.
a month.
And
Okay,
I take Boost the other 3 weeks.
that's smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you give a testimony?
Testify.
Testify.
Hold on, I'm gonna write down this regimen again. 1 week. Got it.
You might need to try that.
Okay.
We haven't tried that in the mango
So
house.
I recommend having an autoimmune disease and having fatigue is one of my issues. Boost seems to be better for people who have fatigue issues.
Correct.
And I use Accelerate more for people who have attention depression because of that.
Because of the
HTP.
HTP. Correct.
As well,
Okay.
you gotta tell, Accelerator Plus makes you hungry.
It does.
So if people are not making good food choices, they're gonna gain weight in the beginning, so I make sure I do
Right.
that.
As you adjust.
And you have to be careful if you're on a serotonin-based antidepressant because you could be getting too much
serotonin.
That's not good. I can't remember what it is.
So I'm going to repeat for you online is that we're saying that Accelerator Plus is a better choice for people that have had any kind of depression issues. But be careful if you are on an antidepressant, spread those out or talk to your doctor before you take them. The 5-HTP does help with mood enhancement. And then we do know, though, that Accelerator Plus can increase your appetite. So be careful when you're making choices that those are good food choices or you will gain weight. And a lot of people do typically gain just a bit, and then it kind of levels off and they go back down. So So that's great, y'all. You guys are very knowledgeable. Slim, obviously, I think goes without saying. We know the most about Slim. That Slim is our flagship product. We know that with just about anybody that we introduce Plexus to, we introduce them to us with a pink drink, and most of us in this room love it. But throw out just some things that, other than the weight loss or whatever, what else do you benefit from with your pink drink? Fatigue, okay. Energy.
Energy.
No problems gone, no allergies.
No allergies. Less anxiety.
Inflammation.
Inflammation.
Reduction.
Sugar cravings. Decreased cholesterol. Decreased blood pressure. Migraines. Stomach acid. Yep. I mean,
Increased X-ray vision. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work. I just want to see if I slip that in.
hangovers. Sleep.
Children's
Oh, no, not yet.
ministry leader.
Catheter. She didn't say it.
Oh, not for you. Oh, not for you.
Not
You heard that. You heard that. Gotcha.
Oh my gosh. So funny.
Clarification. Let me turn the camera around real quick. Okay.
Yes, it does. It does.
Definitely.
Exactly. Very true.
It's so sugary to me. I have to water it down.
That's my
Okay.
Well, and balancing your blood sugar, I found in the beginning, like it took about 3 months, I went, wow, my relationship with food has changed.
It's different.
You're not craving things anymore. You're wanting healthy food, and it becomes fuel versus.
Right. And that helps me jump right into ProBio, which is, again, a very much a product that does that. Was created to specifically address candida issues, candida overgrowth, and yeast. So we see, obviously, with the ProBio, we see a lot of the similar issues that we have, a change in appetite or cravings. We see reduction in bloating. We see a reduction in fatigue. We see better sleep. We see increased energy. We see corrected skin conditions, including eczema and psoriasis. What else? Acne. What else am I missing?
Candy.
Wow, nasal polyps. Reducing nasal polyps. That's great. I did not know that. And you're right, the obvious is leaky gut. Thank you. This is why I need y'all here.
Yeah.
Heal that leaky gut.
Okay. Anxiety, increased focus and attention for a lot of those kids too. Awesome. BioCleanse. Personally, my favorite product.
My favorite.
Why is it your favorite product, honey?
Why do you think? You don't have to buy butt tea, as you call it.
Yeah, no
anymore.
more butt tea in the house. Everybody, it's a long story.
So obviously it's an oxygenator, though, beyond helping us clear our system and detoxification, but it oxygenates the organs and your bloodstream. So if we're thinking about oxidative stress, and the built-up of oxidative stress then typically causes cancer cells, which then create tumors. And if we think at a very small level, we're addressing that in our system, we're creating healthier systems and healthier beings all around. So
That probably eliminates a little depression too.
probably, for sure. Yeah. We didn't talk about nerve health support. I feel like the last time Abby was at our house, she talked a bunch about the nerve health support. But again, that addresses nerve regeneration as well as inflammation of the nerve. It helps with that. What else should I say about that?
It stimulates your body to produce your growth.
It stimulates your body.
To help rebuild damaged tissue. It's a very slow process. Nerve regrows at 1 millimeter a month. So people that are taking that need to know it's a long-term process. Some people do see change quickly with it.
So the nerve health product is something that you're going to be on long term, and it actually regenerates nerve growth factor.
Okay.
All right.
And how often do you take that one?
And there's a loading dose on
Right.
the
The loading dose with both is 2 capsules 3 times a day for 3 months.
For 3 months.
And then 2 capsules twice a day. for 8 months.
So, and then the last product we'll talk about is the fast relief pills. Again, if you guys don't have those in your cabinet, you need to have some in your cabinet to use in exchange for Tylenol. But it's also, again, if you think about your body staying in chronic inflammation, or even a customer or a potential customer that has a lot of things going on, to address inflammation at the core, even while starting ProBio and BioCleanse, just to take it proactively to kind of reduce inflammation throughout the body can be a very effective thing. But I take it if I have a headache versus taking Tylenol or Advil. And
So if you're taking it for just a headache, how many would you typically take for your
I
headache?
take 2
Okay.
and then see, and then if I need, but it works.
I find it works best on an empty stomach with water, like,
Okay,
before or 2 hours after eating.
okay. Working best on an empty stomach.
I would add to that for anyone that's trying to heal leaky gut. One of the things that we need to remove from our diet altogether is enzymes. So if people are trying to heal leaky gut and they're still taking Advil, they're
Yeah,
We're
that's
messing it up.
counteracting everything that
Okay.
the probiotics trying to do. So you gotta switch those out.
That reminds me, I saw some posts the other day about the probiotic and opening the capsule.
Okay, not supposed to do that.
Yeah, that's-
Repeat.
So probiotic, at one point, I was opening them for my kids because I had read an article about probiotics, and if they're active in your mouth, then they're breaking down the digestive enzymes, are getting a hold of things faster. Our particular probiotic, if you open it up prior to ingestion and getting it in your system, it counteracts. Part of it gets counteracted. Not all of it, but it won't be maximally effective. So they do need to be swallowed so that then the stomach acid and things can actually be the ones to break it down for it to work versus it opening out and getting mixed with saliva and whatever else.
But that being said, if you have the 2 and 3-year-olds with the eczema, I think that it's still.
It's still, yes, we're still seeing results.
That's-
Yeah, I'm not going to address that there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to online. So we'll turn that off. We can talk about that later.
All right.
Yes. Eczema with the body cream. Yes, that's excellent. Yes, that's great.
The body cream also, like my daughter has fallen into a kind of scenario twice now. And after we pulled her, after she comes out, we put the body cream on and it was not moving. So today was one of the times that she actually sat on it.
Oh, poor baby.
I checked her bones before I dropped her off with my parents and it was almost like the irritation
It was almost all done. So body cream, fire ants, eczema, psoriasis, bug bites, acne, just night cream. You can use it as a night cream or a day cream for detoxification. I know my mom used it to remove several moles, and actually one of her moles was like a skin tag, and it detoxified and pulled impurities out to the point that had a cancerous spot show up. But the doctor was like that. It was probably dormant under the skin, and it brought it to the surface, and then she was able to cut it out and take care of it immediately. So very powerful.
You get a spray of it.
I know, we're like, shower. Take care of it all.
Have it tinted once, so you
Yeah.
can or something.
It is supposed to be gray. I've had several people call me when they get theirs in. Why is it gray? Mine must be bad. It's ideal if you use it within the first 30 days of opening it. Okay.
I don't know if this is accurate, but I have heard if you put it in the refrigerator. it
Right,
will
but you
last
could potentially make it
than
last longer.
30 days.
Yeah. All right. Are we
All right,
ready for you?
We're ready for me
Can I sit down now?
for a moment.
Oh, good.
Okay, pass this out. This is online under the Victor Antonio and the Files tab in the team page on his presentation. It's 47 pages, but what we have here is just 3 because I'm going to talk about one thing that he discussed, and it's called blocking objections. I know Matt, myself, have probably been in the sales realm for years, many of you as well, and we learned about things called overcoming objections, and overcoming objections is old school. Blocking objections is new school. So I'm going to explain the difference, okay? Because when you're talking to people, you're going to get objections. And so the new way of handling it is you bring up the objection so that they cannot, because the concept is this. Diane can think of something, or I'm trying to sell Diane something, and she's got an objection in her mind. Until we handle that objection, she's not really hearing anything that I'm saying because that's in the forefront of her mind. So if I can block that right away, then she can actually be open to hearing what I have to say. So let me give you an example of the old school way. A simple objection is, I'm not interested, okay? So I would say to Katie, for example, when you say, I'm not interested, I would say, my technique would be welcome, overcome, close. So I would say, I can appreciate that, Katie. I hear what you're saying. I can understand your concern. That's welcome. Overcome would be, however, I had many other people who felt the same way as you, but what they found was when they tried the product, that they had great success. So what do you say, and that's overcome, and I would close. What do you say we give it a shot today? That's welcome, overcome, close, all right? Very salesy, and we don't want to be that way because it doesn't work. So the new way is called blocking objections. So think of it like this. Go to the next page. The first thing that you want to do is you want to raise the objection for them. You're going to offer to resolve it. Then you're going to demonstrate how you're going to make that offer. And then a tie down is what I did there where you close. So for example, let me give you an example in my business. I'm in the energy business, and my job is to get big companies lots of money. I literally go to their company and saying, I can give you $50,000 a year, and they literally have to do nothing. So the objection that I get all the time is, this is too good to be true, right? I mean, if I said, you know, Katie, I have $50,000 for you, you just need to sign up. You might say, okay, yeah, I'll sign up. Most business customers go, what's the catch? Okay, so the way that I do this is the same method here, blocking. So I talk about my service, and I say, you know, Katie, what most people find after I get to this point in the presentation is, this sounds way too good to be true, right? Yes, that's what I'm thinking. When in fact, this is a mandated state-run program. It's been around for 8 years. You're actually paying for it right now through the taxes on your bill. You're not paying $50,000, you're paying a few $100s, but now you're getting that money back. It comes from a $50 million kitty. So really, there's just a little bit of work you have to do, but that's how it works. You're not actually doing nothing for something. You actually have to give a little bit of effort. So I block the objection before she even tells me or says to me, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not interested. Okay, so that's the format. Look at the next page, which is the example. Okay. I love this one because there may or may not be someone who works for the FDA in the room. I cannot name names, but if you whistle, I'll point. Boy, quick crowd. It's a Sunday night. So here's the objection. Why isn't this FDA approved if it's good for you? Okay. How many people have gotten the, well, wait a minute, is this approved? What substances are in there? Why don't you guys have these kind of approvals? It's a very common objection. Okay. So the objection statement. So prior to them even bringing that up, you know, one of the questions I always get is, if this is so good, why isn't it FDA approved? And so let for you. All right, and this takes a little bit of practice to be able to read people and feel where they're coming from. Not everyone's going to say, I have an FDA objection. Maybe a few people. But think of some of the objections that you've gotten. And I'll kind of go around the room. Some of the things that you've had to overcome.
Too much money.
It costs too much money. It's too expensive. So before we even get to the price or what I'm going to do in the presentation, I've showed you all the benefits. Your family needs it. You need it. You've got lots of health issues that this can help. The whole time, you're just thinking in the back of your head, I do not have the money for this. I do not have the money for this, right? The customer in front of you is saying, I don't have the money. So they're not even hearing half the things that you say. So before you even get to that point, you say, you know, Diane, one of the biggest things that I hear from people is, I can't afford this. And quite honestly, that was a big deal for me. So I bring the objection up. And what's going to happen? Diane's going to feel like, yeah, okay, thank you for bringing that up because that's on my mind. And now you're going to take this off my mind. Take it off the tape. So let me answer that question, you know, by showing you something or maybe helping you think a little differently. If you take Slim every day for 30 days, for example, on a preferred price, that's $84, right? $84 divided by 30 is, Matt, help me out. $2 and change, $2.50, $2.75? Oh, yeah, $2.80 a day, okay? $2.80 a day. So if I were to ask you, is there somewhere that you could find $2.80 in your budget on a daily basis, and that would change your life forever? Would there be a way for you to find that money? Or more importantly, what if I said over 30 days at $2.80 a day, if it didn't work, you get all that money back. so there's no risk. So you show them, you tell them, and you give them a way to solve the objection before they even bring it up. This is a little different than I know what I was raised with and taught, but I totally am sold out on this.
Okay, and
Go ahead.
just to expound on that, so in our business, a lot of the times we get that question, how do we get that question? How much is it gonna cost? Like maybe somebody's seen your post and they send you a message and they say, so tell me about Slim, or tell me about what you're doing. And so you start to answer them, and then their next question is, what does it cost? So before you give them the dollar amount, or you send them to your website, you're gonna do this. Because you want to have kind of a setup. Because a lot of times for us, we're not sitting in a, sorry, I'm like out of breath from jumping down those stairs for those kids. You're not in a situation where you've gone through the whole presentation face to face with someone to where you could bring it up naturally in a conversation. But you can do this prior to answering their question. Set it up and go, that was my first question. And a lot of us would think that it is expensive. But when I think about what I spend at the grocery store, or what I spend on my Starbucks every week, or what I was spending going through the drive-through in the afternoon with the kids, and what I was spending here on prescriptions, the math makes sense that this is a better choice for you. And then you alleviate that question. And then they might come back at it with another question that's going to be an objection, and you can block that one as well.
Good, very good.
You had a question?
I did. I just want your opinion. For me, it was too expensive. My husband and I don't do extra luxury things, so there wasn't anything to cut. So that,
Okay.
Yeah.
that blocker would not have been effective for me. So what I tend to immediately link to is the opportunity side,
Mhm.
because for me, it totally paid for itself 100% of the time. And
Right.
so is it do you feel
Of
like
course.
I just need to go into that?
Yes.
Absolutely. There is no right or wrong way to
Mhm.
handle, or no, there's not the same way to handle the same objection. What Melissa says and what I say might be completely different. The end result is we want to overcome it or block it and get that person on board. So I love the fact that, yes, if you don't have some extra in the budget, you think creatively. Think of other ways that you might handle that objection.
Well, and that's a very common objection that when we come up with it, we say that then they're a prime candidate as a ambassador, because we could potentially turn things around for them and give them the opportunity. Our comp plan gives anybody that wants the opportunity to have their product paid for at the very least. And then I would venture to say, if you need $500, you can make $500 a month.
Yeah.
So, and then a whole lot more. So yeah, no, that's perfect. Perfect.
And it's, I don't want to say it's easier as a guy, but the customer that I got this week to get the iPad, the last one that we needed, was an 11th hour call, and he was giving me an objection of like, wow, $84. And I literally said to him, he goes, I don't know if that's something we can afford. And I said, you can't afford not to do it. You can't afford not. So I put it back on him that,
Well,
look,
you're in a situation where you know him well.
well, and I think, yeah, you have to have some, remember, this is a relationship business. So very few people that you talk to are not, you're not going to have some sort of relationship with. So feel comfortable doing that. This, you won't get this right away. You've got to kind of digest this. You've got to practice it. You've got to maybe even write down. You know, there's, I think there are 5 on the PowerPoint document. I think there's 5 different objections.
But we could start a thread.
Start a thread, come up
We'll
different
start a
ways to
thread.
overcome it and block it, and then practice it and commit it to memory, and then make it just part of your repertoire as comfortable as you can get. It's a great system because, again, if you can block the objection before they come out, then the person at the end of the presentation is, so you need my credit card? Because there's really nothing else to overcome.
And especially when we're talking about doing opportunity meetings and in situations where you're going to have a group of people. The example that Victor used at our training and at Leaders Retreat was the Tupperware party. And does the Tupperware lady that brought all the Tupperware, is she really the one that sells the Tupperware? Is she the one that sells the Tupperware? No. It's the ladies that are in the room. I had a Pampered Chef show about 2 months ago, and our sweet little lady that wanted to do the presentation could barely get a word in edgewise because everybody was talking about what they liked about Pampered Chef, and they had this and they made this recipe. And what he talked about was that once Mandra says, oh my gosh, I love Pampered Chef. I love their stone so much. I bake everything on the stone. I'll never use a cookie sheet again. She has like made a statement and put it out there for everybody in the room. And Diane was like, well, I don't really know that Jen girl that's up there talking about paper chef, but I love Mandra, and I know that Mandra said she loves stones, so gosh, maybe I think I should get a stone. And then Michelle came with Diane, and she's like, well, she's going to buy something, so that sounds really good. I think I'll buy a stone. And what happens is this positive peer pressure occurs. Mandra's got 6 stones at home, but she ends up going, well, I just opened my mouth to everyone. I'm going to look like an idiot if I'm not the only one that doesn't buy anything today. So then Mandra buys something. And so it's this process that occurs. And with us, he talked about the 3 things, and I know several of you watched the video, but there is this triangle, and that's why all the slides are in a triangle. But really think about this, that we have kind of 3 main entry points with getting our Plexus customers. And it's either going to be health, wealth, or weight. And we've got to do a good job at figuring out what entry point our customers and our potential ambassadors are coming at us with. And then our objections, we're going to build and identify and kind of focus in with them based on that entry point. So if Shannon says to me, I'm only interested in the money, I'm not going to talk to her about, well, when you lose weight, when you do this, because she's telling me that she needs to make income. So everything that I'm going to generate towards her in terms of interest, in terms of my text messages and my phone calls to her are going to have some way to relate to going, well, wouldn't it be great next month when you've started your business and you have that check come and you're going to help pay for Christmas? This will be the first year you can help, whatever it might have been. Like, you relate to them at that entry point. So
You're on fire, girl. Good.
fire.
In November, I just thought of this. November is the month that gives us our Christmas check.
November is the month
So-
that gives us our Christmas check.
Yeah.
So we need to work, and we need to work hard for the next 30 days. The iPad incentive was huge. The response and the award system that has occurred and how many people earned it was really big. So I hope that the company continues. I know that this time last year, there was an incentive towards the end of November for ambassadors to join your team in November and December that I think it took like $10 off. We added probably personally that time about 8 people during that time, 6 weeks of time when I thought, well, Christmas will be dead. I thought, and it really wasn't.
Yeah, the silver, was it silver incentive?
Oh, and silver incentive as well in November. Yes. So everybody you helped turn silver on your team, you got an additional $100 as their sponsoring ambassador.
So I would expect there's going to be something else.
There will be something
And
else.
I think the last thing I'll add to that is something I saw from Celeste this week, which was great. And her phrase was, comparison is the thief of joy. So don't let, did I screw that up?
No, but I just said it about 10 minutes
Really?
ago.
She did.
You just don't listen to me.
I didn't hear it then.
Totally
I'm like,
suck. That's right. Comparison is the thief of joy. So even if Jen Mango won the iPad,
Which I didn't.
Jen and Phil, we both brought on equal number
We
of
did.
things.
We did.
Anyway, I
There are
digress.
people on our team.
Um,
Gracious.
if you didn't do it, don't let that be a thief of your joy, because maybe you brought on 1 or 2 when you hadn't brought on any before. So growth is
Or
growth.
your PV went up or
Exactly.
whatever. Right. Everybody's at a different place.
And if you miss the if you miss the moon, you still land in the stars. So just because you didn't get it and you were able to do something that you couldn't do before is a great accomplishment.
Right. For sure.
Okay,
We're super excited.
for sure.
So the contest for Phil's check, just to recap, if you guys help, like I know these Missouri people, they've been asking. They're like, they think they're gonna all win the check. So y'all gotta show them up.
What's up?
What's the criteria again?
130 ambassadors from yesterday through the 14th. So essentially, we added 2 or 3 yesterday, so we're on pace.
So if collectively.
Collectively,
Everybody.
then it will be, yes, then we'll give it away. And your
I'm
name goes
trying to
in
give
for
away this check. I'm
every
doing
time you
everything I
add
can.
an ambassador that purchases a welcome pack, your name goes in for a third of that check. And then the first third will go to the person that adds the most during this
Level
time.
ones.
Level
Yeah, they
ones,
do it
yes.
themselves. That's right.
So lots and lots of good stuff. Questions?
Okay, so we're going to sign off and then we'll do
Yes.
our raffle. Thank you all so much. Have a great November.